morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to episode 258 of Dude and a Monkey. My name is Ian Loring, and as always, apart from that one episode where I had a nervous breakdown, we are Dude and a Monkey. I am Ian Loring, and they are
Matt Foster. Hello, everybody.
And Becky. Hello, everyone.
Becky, the girl with one name.
One name. I'm not Becky Foster. I would never introduce myself that way to anybody.
Fuck it. No, I apologise. Do you know what? I apologise. It was just the fact that we always say our second names. No.
I can't do that. It feels uncomfortable.
I'll take that back. I have the one name. I apologise. I'll remember that for the future.
Okay.
Coming up on this week's show, we got a double review of. You can tell it's a nothing cinema week because we're reviewing a Sky Cinema original, the Clive Owen, Amanda Seyfried's joint Anon, and the Netflix original, the Martin Freeman zombie thingy, Cargo.
Yeah.
We've also, there'll be some what we watched and quite a few trailers as well. But because I'm leading steering the ship, I'm gonna start with a little something. So I'm currently at my mum's in Spain at the moment, and so I haven't been on Twitter as much as I usually am. But today I just saw quite a bit of noise about people sparring about, if you still collect physical media, then you're a dinosaur, and then people saying if you don't collect physical media, you don't love film as much as I do. Seem to be the two polemic sides that, as always, are taken on film Twitter.
Yeah. There is no grey. There is black and there is white, and they're both wrong.
There's no. I like both for different reasons.
Yeah. I personally like this, but you're cool to like what you know. You fucking hate it.
Yeah. No, fuck you. Yeah, no, exactly. And I don't know, because it was a thing that I used to gab on about quite a lot on the show. The whole kind of like physical media or digital.
Did you by any chance sort of flip-flop back and forth between the two in any way?
I may have a touch.
Yeah.
That's really unlike you, though, isn't it?
You did also convince me to give up physical media as well.
Yeah, fuck that.
I did, and then I went back to it for a bit, which was great fun. But no, I mean, like I do my guided meditation these days, and I get my I'm starting to get my ducks in a row a little bit, and this, I've got to say, this kind of debate would have fazed me previously, but it hasn't. And one thing that has helped though is yesterday there was a big Apple conference, worldwide developers conference, and they announced that in September the Apple TV 4K is getting support for Dolby Atmos, which was like the last big look what we've got that 4K and actually physical media, because some Blu-rays have it as well, kind of had.
Yeah.
So now it's like. It's funny. I tangenting ever so slightly. Well, not really. I visit this website, The Verge, quite regularly. It's like a tech site, and they have a podcast. And one of the guys on there was talking about how he just wants a streaming box that lights up all the lights on his AV receiver. For like, I'm getting everything. It's like some of them do three of them, and others do. The two are the same, but one different, and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's because the Apple TV 4K is the only streaming box that's going to support Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, which is quite a big deal.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. From September, I'm now gonna get me a Dolby Atmos sound bar. Like I can now plunk down the money, and I'm not gonna get speakers all around because Donna would kill me. I'm just gonna get a sound bar, and I'll be good with that. Apparently the experience is really good. And now it's like, right, fine. Apple, if you could get Disney films in 4K, like Marvel and all that, that would be awesome. Apart from that, you now have me totally. And it's interesting because I don't really see people talk about 4K Blu-ray all that much. Which, if people were as into physical media now as they were, say, 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and 4K Blu-ray was around then, I think it would have been
Well, that's it.
huge. And I think you, Mark, and maybe yourself as well, Becky, would be in that as I would have
Absolutely,
been.
yeah. Because I mean, you still see people talking about Blu-ray quite a lot in terms of that, but nowhere near to the same level as it used to be. Like you say, sort of 3-4 years ago, and it does seem like we're in that kind of in betweeny level at the moment, whereby people are still not quite crossed over to the full digital. But I think part of the full digital thing is you've got to have a digital streaming device that you can buy something on as well, which occasionally is forgotten about. And so I think people look at it and go, well, do I want to buy it on Sky Store? Because what if I don't want to be with Sky in 3 years' time? And do I want to buy it on the BT Store? Because what if I'm not with BT in 2 years' time? And there is that kind of idea. I mean, you'll still own it, but will you be able to watch it or anything like that? Whereas you're always going to own a physical player. And a lot of people has game systems, etc., and things like that. However, both me and yourself, Ian, and obviously Becky, myself, we're very much kind of like we went for the Apple TV thing. I know someone at work, my work was saying.
No. You went for the Apple
Yeah,
TV
but
thing
you
in your
used it as
digital
well.
collection. Yeah.
But
I'm always a little resistant to change, though.
yeah, but somebody at my work sort of said to me, "Oh, right, yeah, but what's Apple TV like?" And I was like, "It's good, yeah." And they said, "Oh, well, what can it do?" And I'm like, "Well, it can play Prime, Netflix, and you can play iTunes movies on it as well." I'm like, "All right. Oh, does iTunes have a streaming thing?" No, you buy them. All right, and it baffled them. They're like, "Oh." But what else can it do? And it's like, well, that's it. That's what it can do. And they say, all right. Oh, why don't you get one of these Cody? And I thought, if you say fucking Cody box at me, I'm going to punch you in the throat. And I had to explain, and I felt like such a fucking hypocrite, having been somebody who has, and will admit that I have torrented things over the years. But I felt like such a hypocrite when I'm there and they're going on about these Cody boxes, and I'm saying, do you know what? I just don't agree with it.
Yeah.
The,
No,
sorry, go on,
it's. I know where you're coming from. It's like sometimes it's like you do it and then you feel a bit dirty for doing it, don't you?
There's an entitlement, I think, nowadays with some people with that. And I know it's a slightly different tangent within the topic of that, but I think it does pan round to the whole thing of at the moment we do seem to be in this a little bit of a between ground for people where they're not buying. People quite simply aren't buying as much physical media as they used to buy because a lot of their kind of what they're getting it from things like streaming services like Prime and like majoritively Netflix.
I think the draw for torrenting and stuff in the way back when was more convenience than being cheap.
Yeah.
It was, I don't want to go to the cinema, or I don't want to wait for it to come out, or I don't want to have to go and physically buy the DVD. It was there on your computer. And now that there is stuff like Amazon Prime, I'd rather pay for it and wait a bit for it to come on Amazon or Sky Movies or Netflix than it always felt a little bit bad to someone who loves film to then be taking that money out of the mouths of the filmmakers.
Yeah.
You don't put money in your mouth, out of the pockets of the filmmakers, just purely for convenience's
Maybe
sake.
You don't put money in your mouth.
Well, the thing is, it's harder to torrent now than it is to just legally rent or buy something.
It should be, because what we can't forget with torrenting is when people go, oh, it's really annoying when you can't find something on like Pirate Bay or Kick-Ass Torrent or anything like that. It's really annoying why aren't these things out there. It's like, right, it is illegal.
Against the law, yeah.
It is against the law. That's like saying to people, oh, it's really annoying. Every time I try and walk out of Sainsbury's with a Twix, they keep stopping me and telling me I've got to pay for it.
Every time
What's
I drive 50
bullshit?
in a 30 zone, I get stopped. What's going on?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, so that's the thing. I mean, I did try and torrent some stuff around the start of the year, like around Oscar time, And it's just like actually trying to find something that's not blocked by my ISP, like an actual like Pirate Bay type site.
Yeah, the list of
You know,
proxies.
the dealing with uTorrent, and then frankly the fact that I realised, oh shit, I don't actually have anything plugged into my TV anymore that can read these files, and it was just like, do you know what?
Yep.
Screw it. Yeah, I can't be asked. I'll just wait, and if it means I don't have as much to talk about for the top 10 show in early January, never mind. And I don't know. I am kicking myself because I did have the chance to see like the LFF press screening of The Shape of Water, and I didn't go because of work. And that film is still so far my number one film of the year, and the thought of having to talk about that in January when that came out like a year ago is kind of bothering me. But it is what it is. But aside from that kind of time, I just don't see a time when it would really be necessary to be a thing now. It's like I can go and see something in the cinema, and there's so much just coming out day and date on VOD now. Or is that kind of film, but now it's just on Netflix or Amazon Prime instead. Like I say, it is just more difficult, and frankly, it seems like the ISPs are getting a bit more hardcore on it as well. There's a person that we all know who has had 2 letters from their internet service provider about downloading 2 separate things. I had one last year.
I've had two of the one of the emails last year.
There you go.
Kind of thing.
No, it's a, we don't know if you're aware, but you know that film that you downloaded? Well, actually, it was, you shouldn't have done that because it was from an illegal site. I still maintain mine was Guardians and it was Sky's fault.
What?
It was Sky's fault because it was on our planner.
I remember
and
you
I
talking about
recorded it because when Guardians 2 was coming out and it was on our planner.
Yeah.
And then they deleted it off everyone's planner and took it off the Sky Movies on Demand.
They are money grabbing fuckers though, to be fair, aren't they? When there's a sequel coming out, every trace of it just disappears.
But yeah, but it was literally, it was on our planner. It wasn't like it was like
it
it was still on the Demand thing. We downloaded it onto our planner and they deleted it off planners.
That's so sneaky. Twats.
I mean, and I think that's I think that's an interesting segue, just because the one thing about digital is the fact that they can just remove stuff if license did expire or something like that. And it is the whole, you are paying for the right to be able to watch this thing, but that could be revoked at any time. Which is a legit concern. But I think at the same time, if Apple or Google or Amazon were to remove these things, they would, and in big enough numbers, I think they would start to experience a bit of a PR storm. Because I think a case in point is something like Avengers or Iron Man, like the early MCU films, because the home video rights would have been Paramount back in the day before Disney bought Marvel, and now they are Disney, and you still can watch those films. It's just, I think Avengers doesn't have iTunes extras because Paramount didn't bother doing them, and Disney haven't ported over any extras either. But aside from something like that, you're not really missing out anything. Even though that does bug me though. But then again, you did actually get that kind of case with physical media as well, where there might be, because of like BBFC kind of things, there might not be extras that appeared on the US version and the UK version. Case in point, Avengers Assemble. There's a Joss Whedon commentary which is on the US Blu-ray, which isn't on the UK Blu-ray, because the US version of that film had, what was it? It was when Agent Coulson was killed. There was a bit of blood. There was a blood spurt
in the. Was that in the UK version, but not in the US version?
No, it was the other way
around.
So they basically couldn't be asked to get the commentary track re-rated. They got it rated on the US version, didn't get it rated in the UK version because it essentially would have cost them more money. So they were just like, fuck it, let's just not do the commentary. I mean, you can. I think I got the commentary on YouTube back in the day anyway.
Wasn't that like an official upload to YouTube as well?
It might have been. To be fair, it might have been something like that. YouTube. I definitely got it on YouTube. Whether it was illegal or not, in the end of the day, that's kind of YouTube's problem, not mine.
I remember seeing a thing from Duncan Jones when he was talking about Mute and saying, people saying that the problem is, with Mute being on Netflix and things like that, there was never going to be any extras on there. And then he did speak about it on Twitter and said, well, actually, there's no reason why I couldn't do a commentary track and put it on YouTube or release it as a podcast or anything like that. And then, literally like a few hours later, he put out another tweet saying, "Oh, actually, apparently, I might not be able to do that."
Oh.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, like the legal ramifications of that, I can't imagine or anything, because if you haven't got it like the audio in the background, then it's just somebody talking.
I think it was more.
It might be more if you want to do business with Netflix, you're going to play
You've got
by
to do
these
our
rules.
PR there. But I mean, that'd be easy. I'm sure there's somebody at Netflix there going, "Fuck it, do we just do a."
Release it as an extra release.
At some point, do we do like a commentary track, like a Netflix podcast that's just commentary tracks and just sling them out there? If people want to listen to them, they can do. And if directors want to record them, they can do. But there'll be something like that. But Netflix are very savvy with these kind of things
you
in
put it on
terms
Netflix
of.
And you have it running over the film like you would a commentary track if you.
They won't do that.
Why?
Because I just don't think they will. In the same way as they won't put trailers on.
Yeah.
Netflix don't give a fuck. It's like there's no like behind the scenes type stuff on Netflix just because people pay for the service and the films.
And that's what they want to pay for. They
to do these things.
Yeah. And they don't want to pay for behind the scenes featurettes and things on their movies. They just want the movie.
Do you reckon at some point Netflix will try and cash in and release like physical media of their originals?
No.
With specials on.
No.
They have with the TV.
With the TV series, yeah.
They have with the TV series, like House of Cards is on Blu-ray and whatnot. But no, I mean the thing is, I think maybe they kind of want to just like pump their 4K, pay a tenner a month, and just watch the stuff in 4K streaming because 4K physical media, you don't want to worry about that, do you? 4K
I don't get why anybody would go out there and spend 30 quid on a box set of House of Cards when essentially at the time when House of Cards the first few seasons were out, 30 quid was basically like half a year's worth of Netflix nearly.
Yeah, but some people like to have it, don't they? I can't see why for something like House of Cards, but say Netflix release a really good movie at some point. For instance, the Scorsese one that they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
When that comes out, people may want to own that and have the special features. It's different, isn't it? Netflix can, like we said before, they probably won't with their originals, but Netflix can remove stuff at any time.
Yeah, well, their originals, they probably never will.
No, they probably never will, but they could.
Well, they could, yeah. That's it.
And I mean, the annoying thing is, I mean, like Amazon Studios are far more loosey goosey with this kind of stuff. Like they don't care. They'll let things have a theatrical release and like not day and date so that it will actually play in cinemas. They'll basically non-US they'll sub-license things like Manchester by the Sea with Studio Canal. There are other examples. I just can't think of them at the moment. But when they've got content that is just like, look, let's just stick it out on Amazon Prime, then they do. Like Last Flag Flying, that had a 1-day theatrical thing where there was a satellite Q&A with Bryan Cranston, and then that was on Amazon a few weeks later. And I think they're just case by casing it. I mean, there's a trailer we're going to talk about in a bit, which is an Amazon Studios film, and they are going to release that thing in cinemas because they think that is going to do some business both critically and commercially. Whereas Netflix, but whereas Netflix are just like, nope, it's ours.
To be fair, though, if they were putting anything on Netflix that was awards worthy, they might think differently. Because they have to have theatrical releases, don't they?
I mean,
for certain awards.
If they're not going to do it for The Irishman, they're not going to do it. That's the thing. Like, it's going to be fascinating to see what they do with The Irishman. But the thing is, to be fair, I don't think this is all Netflix either, because if the cinema chains were willing to go, yeah, View, yeah, all right, then we'll have The Irishman. Yeah, you're gonna put it out day and date on Netflix anyway, but we'll show it for a week or two, see how it goes, and if people want to see it in the cinema, then great. But the big chains aren't gonna do that because of the whole 90-day window thing. So Netflix are being slightly forced into a corner, but conversely, it's making their offering look stronger because it's like, look, we're trying to get it. The cinemas don't want to show this. You want to see the new Scorsese, either go to a picture house where we'll do deals with them, or bloody Curzon, because they're cool with it, or just watch it on Netflix. Yeah, and then Curzon or picture house, whoever, look good from a film fan point of view. Netflix look good from a everybody else point of view, and it's the cinema chains that will lose out. And on something like The Irishman, they will lose out because a lot of eyeballs are going to be watching that the weekend that comes out instead of going to the cinema to see whatever is big release that weekend. And with no Star Wars, it's going to be an awful lot more quieter Christmas at the cinema than it would have been otherwise.
It makes the big chains look a bit like bullies as well, doesn't it? So it does make the smaller indie theatres like picture houses and stuff, and Netflix look like the Johnny Come Lately trying to kind of get in on the scene but being bullied by the big boys. Yeah, it does work in their favour, really.
But we had, for instance, last year, Bright. More people watched Bright last year in the week it was released, which was 2 weeks after The Last Jedi. More people watched Bright in that week worldwide than watched The Last Jedi in its first week.
Oh, Bright's a masterpiece. So,
so more people watched that because part of that is, yes, they all wouldn't have gone to the cinema to see it, but even if you say 10%, it's still done all right.
Well, it's a Will Smith film. At the end of the day,
it was a big deal.
Bankable.
It was a big deal.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and it's not. I mean, it's not great by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not bad.
I'd have been fine with seeing it in the cinema.
Yeah, it's fine. It's entertaining enough. It's a bit ham-fisted with its messages, but
I didn't get its message, to be honest.
Did you not?
No, I didn't.
No.
I just thought it was a bit of fluffy fun.
Did you?
Yeah. What was it about?
Like trolls and shit.
Good. Yeah. See, that's all I got.
District 9's just about aliens as well.
It is as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid messaging. But I mean, with the physical media side, I don't know. It's just these days, it's the cost, it's the clutter.
The mad thing is, we were in H&V the other day, and the DVD section is still bigger than the Blu-ray section.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Madness.
I was just really sad I couldn't find the games section, to be fair.
Yeah.
So I missed all that.
Oh, there's just barely any game section in HMV. But then again, I mean, like, how much do you fucking pay for a game in HMV? It's bloody ridiculous. Yeah, straight up. But I mean, it's you go into HMV and you pick up a copy of like Thor Ragnarok on UHD Blu-ray. It's like $24.99. Yeah, really? I'm going to pay $13.99 for that on iTunes. Okay, HD. But never mind, get it a couple of weeks early, get all the extras. I mean, for God's sake, I mean, like, The Greatest Showman, $11.99 in 4K on iTunes, and it's £20 for the disc.
That's crazy.
It's got all, it's got all the extras, and it's, yes, the image quality is not as good. It does depend on your streaming connection. I mean, I'm lucky that I've got like a fast Virgin Media fiber optic connection. So here I am in my fucking ivory tower. But for me, I'm in a position where it looks good enough in 4K. As, to be fair, streaming HD looks good enough compared to Blu-ray, where it's like that money difference is not worth it.
Well, yeah. So it's a good example here. I could buy right now I already have one of them, but I could buy the 50 Shades trilogy for $16.99 right? Get all 3 movies in 4K. That's Dakota John House's in 4K. For $16.99, the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray is $19.99.
What for?
That's
and
for
that's
one
just
of
for
the
one of the
films.
films.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I've just rabbit holed
Yeah,
trying to find out whether there's a steelbook of Greatest Showman yet.
There isn't.
God damn it.
That's weird.
That's it. We've got Greatest Showman on iTunes.
Oh.
I will buy it on steelbook when they eventually release one.
There is a 50 Shades Darker 4K. 4K.
Steelbook.
The steelbook's
Oh.
wiped clean.
Ew.
And that's £36.
Wow. God.
So if you
Yeah,
wanted
that
to
can't be
buy
right.
the 50 Shades trilogy, I'm just doing this as an example, right? It would cost you £106, right?
You do know everyone's shouting no one wants to buy the 50 Shades trilogy except you.
I'm
don't you?
very well aware of that. It would cost
You're
you
aware of-
£106
you're aware of this, yeah.
to buy it on 4K Ultra HD if you wanted to buy it right now, or you could pay $16.99 on iTunes. And
I think I'd struggle
then
to
you,
pay
then you
$16.99 for it,
wouldn't.
to be fair.
Well, I'm gonna.
Was that message tone your personal information? The 50 Shades trilogy on iTunes, Mark?
It better not be.
Maybe.
What was it?
The thing is, there's so much rewatch value with those as well.
There is, like, with the exception of the first one, they're funny. They're like funny movies, and the dialogue is so shit. But it's like normal people speak, like instead of film script speak. Like,
that's because it wasn't written by someone who can write films.
I think the second two are just funny. The first one's shite, but the second two are
I
funny.
mean, the first one that tries to be a movie.
Yeah.
I quite like the first one. I thought the first one had some interesting shit to say.
Yeah, that was my problem
you know.
with it. Don't fucking try and say interesting shit. Just show me her titties and show me the fucking room.
Which one's the one with 50 Shades of Foot?
50 Shades of Foot's Up's the first one.
First one. What's the other one? The other funny thing?
Kinky Fuckery.
Kinky Fuckery, yeah.
Oh,
Love it.
Fuckery.
Yeah, Chronicles of Riddick poster.
Yeah, what's that about?
Yeah, you
Fucking
love that poster. I love how much you
I'm
love that
tempted to
poster.
get
That
a
always makes me
poster
smile.
of that poster in that movie.
A poster of that scene.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, I mean that's the thing. It just, I don't know. It kind of feels like streaming has kind of won the battle for hearts and minds of the mainstream, and that's essentially it won. You know, I think there are companies still doing amazing work in physical media like Arrow and Second Sight and whatnot, but it does.
They're collectors'
I
things.
don't know. It does feel like it's,
you know, they're for people who want to collect. In the same way as I saw a tweet from one of the guys who works for Zavi. Somebody tweeted him saying, "Why the fuck do you keep releasing all of these different movies on Steelbook? For God's sake, Blu-ray's dead." And he responded saying, "Do you think we'd still be releasing them if people weren't buying them?"
My thing on it is
yeah.
something that I'm either watching for the first time that I'm not sure about, or something I've seen before and not that fussed about. Happy to stream it on something like Netflix or Prime. If I'm marginally bothered about it, I'll buy a digital copy on like on iTunes or whatever. Something that I'm really bothered about, I will buy on physical media. I will. Probably not on Blu-ray, but if they release a steelbook of it, I will be there buying it. I will buy Greatest Showman steelbook if they ever release it. I've got 4 different physical copies of Blade Runner. You know, it's stuff that I really care about. I will buy physically because I want to own it and have the stuff that comes with it, and generally they're special editions like that. Blu-ray, DVD Blade Runner set that we were looking at the other night that I've got upstairs. It's got all sorts of crazy shit in it. There's postcards, there's like a film cell, I've got my Blu-ray one's got a little model car. I like that
We
stuff.
got quite a good sell with that, because sometimes you get film cells, don't you? And it ends up being like a really shitty bit of it.
Yeah, no, it's a good one.
Like I got one years ago in a VHS for Saving Private Ryan, and the film scene that I got was fucking crap.
Wasn't it just like a foot?
It was like a foot, yeah. It's a foot.
Do you
No,
know what
it was
was?
it was nobody. It wasn't even one of the main cast feet. It was one of the ones from the Storming the Beach, and it was just some random guy who gets shot a minute later's foot. However, I did also get one for the Thin Red Line as well. And the still I got for that was a still of like one of the of like a close up of some long grass.
Yeah.
And at the time,
that was the really crap.
I was thinking, was it
at the
weeds?
time I thought that's shit. Why couldn't I got something fucking cool? And now I kind of look. If I still had it somewhere, which I probably do somewhere, I'd look at it and go, there is nothing more Malikian than that.
Yeah.
But I think there's another thing
You're right.
I think that we are missing here is I think the amount that people are renting from places like BT Vision and Amazon and TalkTalk, UViewbox, Sky, Prime, and things like that. I think that has got
the $1.99 Prime deals have got us through a lot of nights where we've been sat for an hour going, there's nothing on Netflix or Prime. But then it's like a $1.99.
That amazing thing where you go, there is nothing on Netflix, on Prime, and Sky. What is it? It's like, no, there is literally thousands, near tens of thousands of things on these things. It's just there's nothing that I want to watch right now. Which is...
Or there's 10 things you want to watch, but nothing that stands out.
Which is ridiculous, because I'd be used to go to a video shop and go and have like 5 things and go, well, I can only have fucking 2. And have to put 3 back, and I can sit there with Netflix for 3 hours going, nope.
There's something that feels kind of special about renting though, even if it's digitally.
There is.
It's like you have committed to watching this particular movie this night.
It feels like a treat.
Yeah, it does. In the same way, it feels like a bit of a treat when a good movie comes on TV.
Yeah, and then an advert comes on and you go, what the fuck?
But then...
Like just knocked everything off the table.
Knocked everything over, gesturing. But then part of that though, because like if it's on TV, like back in the olden days, you couldn't pause TV, so you needed the adverts. So it kind of nostalgia sucks you back into like that feeling of watching films when you were younger.
That's the thing. We don't have live TV in our house. Like we've got iPlayer and like ITV Hub and whatnot for if we want to watch something like live, but we don't have a cable box or like anything plugged into the aerial. So like adverts, it's amazing because the only exposure to adverts that like Lottie has is literally in between videos on YouTube. And you can skip those.
Mine's football. That's it. Beyond that, I don't really watch adverts. We don't really watch TV, do we? If we watch TV, it's usually stuff that's.
If I'm sat and I'm feeling a bit lazy, I might watch some Buffy reruns on Sci-Fi.
Well, that's all on Sci-Fi now, isn't it? It's like Comedy Central's just Friends, but nobody watches it now. Everyone's got Netflix and it's on there.
No, Firefly's sometimes on Sci-Fi.
Yeah, no, there's a shit like that.
Yes, they do.
They shouldn't.
Shut up.
People give a shit if I'm on 2 seasons.
Oh.
Burn.
I don't like you anymore.
He's got a point.
No, he doesn't.
He's got a point. Yes, he does. Have a look at the results of the poll.
Yeah, I had a look at this. It was quite interesting, actually. Yeah.
So if you add up, so it was basically which one of these do you do? Streaming, 4K streaming, Blu-ray, 4K Blu-ray, and you add up the streaming ones and the Blu-ray ones, and it's literally 50-50.
Yeah.
I believe 4K streaming came last.
Not 4K streaming.
4K Blue.
No, 4K Blu-ray
came last.
Then 4K streaming, then streaming
That
and
is
Blu-ray.
mad though that it literally came out at 50-50.
Yeah, and so that's it. It does. A year ago, it would have been more heavily weighted towards Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I think substantially it would have been. And I think you do that this time next year, and I think it will be more heavily weighted towards streaming.
Yeah, probably.
And this is like people who follow us on Twitter voting as well. So it's not like you just like took it out to like man on the street. I mean, man on the street would probably go like streaming.
DVD. I buy my DVDs at Asda.
Yeah.
Which isn't a criticism.
Exactly.
It's just it's a fact.
Different audience.
It's a different audience.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that necessarily. Not immediately anyway. So yeah, I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting, and it does feel like it is just, as always, people on one side or t'other. And for me, it's just like, if you can afford, if I could afford 4K Blu-ray, like, to buy it in the numbers that I probably would want to buy it, I probably would still be that. For me right now, it is the cost thing, but convenience is a massive factor as well. And I don't know. I mean, it sounds so lazy, but just the idea of actually changing over discs and having to keep discs in some place ordered and whatnot now is just, it's an anathema to me, if that's anyway. It's I no, I couldn't deal with it. And I like where your head's at, Becky. Like, just, if I want to have a physical copy of this because it means something to me, then I will. But otherwise, streaming's fine. I think that's I think that's a healthy place to be these days.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, I think I'd be hard pushed to just buy a standard Blu-ray though. Like, I'd just keep an eye out for a steelbook. I do like a steelbook, although they make me anxious. I don't like touching them in case I scratch them.
It's like my iPhone screen.
Oh yeah.
Whoa!
Oh, so covered in
Phantom
scratches.
Thread's got an early release today
What?
on iTunes.
4K and
Yeah.
$11.99. I'm tempted by that.
That's good value.
Wait until you got a 4K TV.
I'll be buying it anyway, but yeah, I'll be watching it again as soon as it hits 4K.
Just, as I think I said last week, the one thing that really bothers me now is watching something on iTunes thinking, when's the 4K version coming?
Just as a quick segue before we move into trailers, last thing on this, unless anybody else got anything else to say on it, but the iTunes are doing like it's 10 years since iTunes Films launched this week.
Oh wow.
And so they're doing like special deals all this week, and so each day of the next 10 days, I think it is, they're doing the best selling movie of each year. So yesterday it was 2008, today it's 2009 at $3.99. And plus a lot of other deals, so you can get a 10 film bundle of 90s movies for $9.99. There's a lot of other different offers and things like that. But do you know what the best selling movie of 2009 was on iTunes?
This is amazing. I know what the answer is. It's amazing.
Wolverine. It's X-Men Origins Wolverine.
I've not seen that.
And yesterday it was I Am Legend, which fair enough.
Yeah.
But
I picked that up because it's in 4K and Dolby Vision. And again, if it wasn't, I wouldn't have. But I'm thinking $3.99 to watch I Am Legend again in a nice copy. Sure, why not? I haven't seen
Has
it
it got
since
the
the
alternative
cinema.
ending on it?
No.
Disappointing.
Which is annoying. That's one thing about iTunes. The fact that they used to sell alternate ending versions as separate things. So like for instance this, and funnily enough, the Wolverine, like the extended cut of that is separate on iTunes. That really bothers me because these days they just include the extended version. So yeah, that really bothers me. And like fucking Lord of the Rings trilogy, only ever the theatrical cuts on offer, never the extended editions. But no.
Does that need extending any further?
Why not?
Ian, Oblivion, 4K, $3.99.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I did like
Oblivion 4K, $3.99.
Yeah, that would look pretty.
It would do. It's a very nice looking movie.
Yeah, you guys need to get a 4K TV,
yes,
by the way,
indeed.
please. Just saying. Yeah, no, very good. God, I wonder what's going to be tomorrow. So 2009 tomorrow,
2010 tomorrow.
2010, sorry. Interesting. Anyway, trailers.
We should do some trailers.
It's been a big old couple of days, isn't it? Like yesterday and today, it just kind of seemed to explode a little bit. I don't know. Like, I know which one I think we would lead up to. So I don't know. Becky, start us off. What have you been seeing?
Well, we watched the the Lego Movie 2 trailer. That just came out today, didn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry. Lego Movie, the second
Yeah,
part, is
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked the first one when it came out, and then really didn't hold up on rewatch. For me, it got very annoying very quickly, and I imagine if for someone that has a small child that would probably have been forced to watch it over and over, it it ended up really great in the song, especially. Oh my god. It looks like they're going down a bit of a theme tune kind of vibe with this one as well. I can imagine there's going to be an original song released as part of the second trailer, which is just grating. But the movie itself actually looks quite interesting. I'm quite intrigued.
The kind of Mad Maxy vibe for it.
Yeah, I'm thinking that dystopian kind of look that it's got going on.
Yeah.
For Legos, that's quite an achievement.
Lego, look like Legos.
Legos.
Stop.
You go buy some stuff from Tesco's.
Fuck off.
I hate agreeing with Mark again, but it is totally Legos.
But they are Legos because they're individual items.
No, it's just Lego. It's just Lego. You can get fired from Lego for calling it Legos.
Okay. For Lego people, dystopian is quite an achievement.
Yes.
Okay.
No, but
go on. Sorry,
yeah.
no, go on.
Sorry, go on. No.
I think it looks like they're taking it in quite an interesting direction. It could have just carried on in the same vein, in the same sort of situation, and it just looks like they're trying to do something different with it, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's the thing. The fact that they're trying to do something different, I think, is kind of the key thing here. And even though it did make me laugh that they call out the whole Elizabeth Banks did everything in the first one, that he's the one who gets all the credit. They call that out, and then what's the plot of the film? She gets kidnapped and he has to save her. Like, I pray, like, surely they can't be that both self-aware and completely oblivious. So there's got to be something in that. Like, if it turns out that she essentially saves herself and he basically does nothing again, I'll actually kind of respect that, because at least they'll be calling attention to it.
Or he'll go to save her and get in trouble, and she'll have to re-save him.
Yeah, that you see that would be spot on. Like, that's really really interesting that they pulled that in this trailer, which makes me think there's something else going on. I don't know. We'll see. I've tried Lottie on the Lego Movie, and it doesn't stick. She gets like 10 minutes into it. It's like, Daddy,
But
this is
so
boring,
colourful.
and she sits. Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, it's weird. I probably maybe it was she was a little young or something. I'll probably try her again on it before the second one comes out, because she'll see the trailer in the cinema and she'll say she wants to see that, but she says she wants to see everything. Like, I don't know. Like I said last week, she wanted to see The Greatest Showman. That blew my mind, because she would be so bored, and it's just because like how young.
Well, the trailer
she is.
makes it look like it's all singing and all dancing and not much else going on. Whereas it's not. There are breaks between the singing and dancing.
What do you think of that trailer?
Reminded me a lot, weirdly, and I only just made the connection when I was thinking about this. It reminded me a lot of the Cloudy the Chance of Meatballs 2 trailer.
Oh, I love that film.
Where it was kind of like it.
God, yeah, there was a sequel. Sorry, I just remember.
Felt like it felt like it was the similar enough to the original movie, but there just seemed to be something that wasn't quite right. And then, of course, when you take into the account the fact that it's the same people.
Is Cloudy 2 the one where the food becomes sentient? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, and they go to the island.
I like that one.
I like Cloudy the Chance too.
I like both of them.
But yeah, it's. I don't know. I'm not sure whether or not Lego kind of missed the boat a little bit. It's a good few years since the first one.
Yeah, but they've had Lego Batman out in between times.
But Lego Batman kind of came and went, and then nobody really paid that much attention to it, and it was too long.
Is it Joe Bluth that does the voice for?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, well on it.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, they did Lego Ninjago,
which did really well, didn't it? Yeah.
Which was, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It's just like the fact that everyone on the internet loved the Lego Movie, and then Lego Batman, like, not all that much. Then Lego Ninjago, it seemed like people didn't even bother watching it. And there's
And
some
a foreign sounding name.
there is some fun stuff to be.
Brexit
Yeah,
Britain
well,
is
yeah,
there.
nice. I mean, I don't know. There was some fun stuff in there, but it wasn't. It
I
wasn't
think
amazing.
the Ninjago branding is very much
I
aimed at children, though, isn't it? Whereas Batman appeals to everyone. The Lego sort of straight up Lego movies are just people with various characters thrown in, but they're just like little Lego people, aren't they? It's I think Ninjago is very specifically branded at kids.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not massive on the Lego movie. I think it's all right, but people did go too mad over it.
They ruined
quite
it,
frankly.
didn't they? They just
and
ruined it, singing everything is awesome all the time, and it was everywhere.
The minute I saw somebody with a whatever the lead character Emmett, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
The minute I saw somebody with an Emmett backpack,
Oh.
whenever a film gets a backpack, for me that's it. It's gone.
The shark, yeah.
what like a
Yeah,
grown-ass
you know,
person?
like that girl, and I'm just mean it as everybody knows that girl. She's the girl who 15 years ago would have had a Sully from Monsters Inc. backpack.
The Hello Kitty t-shirt.
Yeah, that girl had it, and I just thought, I bet she's got a fucking Rick and Morty fucking doormat as well.
You hate Rick and Morty, don't you?
The show's meh. I hate Rick and Morty fans.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
That fandom is pretty toxic though. Like the kind of like the talk, the mort-splaining that people seem to do for that is something else.
Or if you don't like it, it's just because you just don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not smart enough to realise that this thing is actually good. Like, it just.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
I don't know. Like, don't get me started on Star Wars fandom. Even though, to be fair, I'm not the worst of that. Noel was having quite the WhatsApp about that earlier on, and he was right to. He was right
about what?
to.
I'm not included in this male conversation. What was
Star
that?
Wars. I'll fill you in later.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll tell you about what is it. Boom.
Did you guys just like that?
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Oh god, what a couple. Very good. Right, you guys watched the trailer before we started.
Oh yes,
recording?
Bumblebee. I just don't care.
I don't care, but then I'm not invested in the whole Transformers universe.
I've seen one and the last one.
I've just seen the first one.
That's right.
Like Bumblebee's probably like the most make a standalone film out of that one guy kind of character in it. I think. From the one that I've watched.
I don't care enough about it to watch to bother, you know, to care about a trailer and to look at it and go, right, well, it's gonna have this, it's gonna have this. It does. Is it part of the same universe? It is, isn't it?
It's like a prequel.
The thing is, I have a feeling that it's aimed, I think, a little bit younger than the Transformers movies, maybe. And I know we'll probably I'll come out of it, and I'll probably have the same opinion that I had of it of something like
That's a watch on Sky Movies.
Power Rangers.
I'm not going to the cinema to watch that.
And where I'll go, fine, it was fine. You know, I watched it on a Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock. It's fine.
Yeah.
The one thing that has me going for it is it's directed by the guy who did Kubo and the Two Strings.
Oh.
It's his second film, so.
You know, I have to support it. Fucking Alien.
Sorry. I'm pretty sure it's him anyway. Travis Knight. I'm like 99.9% sure it's him. So like there you go. And you know the thing I liked about the first Transformers was the boy in his car aspect, which was a very Spielberg led thing to be. And cool. And this feels like it's one girl and her car, and it's like if it can get that slightly, you know, that less apocalyptic, convoluted thing, and just tell a simple story about, strip it back, you know, for the love of God, be under 2 hours, and, you know, John Cena as maybe a bad guy.
Well, yeah,
he looked military.
Yeah, and in these films, military always means bad.
Well, certain aspects of military mean bad. You know, Josh Duhamel, his unforgettable character, Soldier Man, is
Was
a
he
good
was
guy,
he the first, or was he just in the second?
Gibson. He was in the first, and he was in the fifth.
He was, wasn't he?
And he might have been in the second as well. I think first, second, fifth, I'm going to say. Or first, second, third, fifth.
That wouldn't surprise me, yeah.
I can't remember. No, I think he was in the third one, because that was the one where they did the squirrel suit jump. And I'm pretty sure his character was a squirrel. Anyway, Bumblebee. I think that's how
it is Christmas.
So it's like, what do you want to go see? What do you want to watch? The Scorsese film on Netflix or Bumblebee? You know.
Yeah, it's a fair point, that.
So there you go.
What else have we got?
Either of you got Ralph Breaks the Internet, new trailer for that?
I've not watched that. I'm again, it's another one I'm finding it a little bit difficult to kind of build up the enthusiasm for it, to be honest.
Everyone's outraged that Mulan wasn't in the picture. Is she in the trailer? Disney princesses are all in the trailer, aren't they? And
yeah,
a lot of people were making a fuss about Mulan not being in it.
Oh, Mulan.
I think Pocahontas is in there. I don't remember seeing Mulan. I think it was Pocahontas.
In it, yeah.
People are, which is weird actually, because Disney have got like a live action Mulan remake coming down at some point. So you'd think they would have put her in there, if anything, just for that. It's again, there's no story in it. It's basically they go to the internet and then it's just jokes.
Yeah, I have a feeling this one's going to run out of steam very quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like Lottie will want to see this because of basically because of the video game characters, and the Disney princesses. She'll probably enjoy that as well. But there's quite a long joke in this about how rubbish autocorrect is. And it's like, I don't think a 4-year-old's going to go, yeah, that autocorrect humour. You know, and it's...
If somebody calls somebody a duck at any point.
No, but that would be good. It would be good if, like, there was a massive thing in the internet. Ducking was like a huge, some sort of sport within the internet.
That would be good.
Everyone's off ducking.
That would be good. Yeah, exactly. And all it is just like it's just petting ducks. You know, exactly. So that Ralph Breaks the Internet.
I've got one before Widows, because I guess we'll do Widows and then the other big one.
Let's build up. Yep. Do it.
Peppermint. Jennifer Garner's Taken by the director and writer of Taken.
Hang on, what the first Taken?
Have you not seen this?
Hang on, what, Besson?
Have you not seen this? So,
Besson's doing a Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, it's called Peppermint, and the story seems to be her.
No, hang on. He did. Oh God, who directed the first Taken? Was it Besson?
No, he co-wrote it,
didn't he? Who directed Taken? Oh, bloody. Yeah. The District 13 guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's directing. I think, is he directing and writing Peppermint? He's directed it, and it's written by. Oh my God. He's directing it, and it's written by the guy who wrote London Has Fallen.
Oh God.
Right, which we both really quite liked. And it's Jennifer Garner. Her family is killed by, it would appear, bad people.
Baddies.
And then they get away with it.
Right.
She disappears for 3 years and then comes back as a super badass and starts killing them all. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, do you know what? Yeah, I'm all for watching that.
You do like a badass ballsy female lead.
Yeah, as well. And Jennifer, that's the thing is, Jennifer Garner just has she, you know, as well as being quite amusing, funny, and charming, and everything like that, she does look like she has a physicality to do these kind of things. And also, as well, she also looks...
Maybe not generally, in this film she does.
I think she does. She looks like she has a physicality to her. And she also looks quite smart. Like, she's smart enough to do these... And she is very smart. She's a very smart woman.
What, IRL?
Yeah, in real life. But she looks like she has that, and that that kind of look of her, where she looks like she has that determination to do it, in a similar way that Rosamund Pike looks like she could be enough of a bitch to be the girl in Gone Girl. You know, Jennifer Garner looks like maybe not Ben, but if she had another husband that this happened to, she'd be like, "That's it, fuck this shit. I'm gonna go full fucking training montage and kill these motherfuckers."
Yeah, I reckon if anyone fucked with Jennifer Garner's kids, she would go full peppermint.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm very much up for this.
It does look good actually. Have you not watched the trailer?
No, I'm fairly sure I'm watching two ants having sex at the moment. So,
Interesting.
like, seriously, like, the one ant leading looks like he doesn't. They do not want to be there, as well. Oh,
Are they just
man,
like Shane
what am I
fucking?
going to do here? Like, I don't know. They look drunk. They're kind of wobbly. They're walking around all over the place. Is that two ants, or is that just like a weirdly large ant? This is really putting me off. I kind of no. Do you know what? No. I have respect for life, but not for yours. Bye. Oh, it was two of them.
Did you just kill them?
I separated them
From their life?
from two things. Oh, hang on. No, we're good. Days, but up.
A little bit like Steve Buscemi in Fargo, where the guy knocks him off that girl, and he says, "Hey, I was looking at that girl."
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. Right, I'm gonna stop looking down there now. No, I haven't seen the trailer.
You should watch it later.
Watch it.
It's solid, yeah. Widows is the next one, I think,
Nice.
isn't it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
Go on, then.
yeah,
This is different,
Steve
isn't it?
McQueen is making, and I'm glad I've seen a few people make this kind of connection. Steve McQueen has decided to, the guy who did 12 Years a Slave and Shame and Hunger, quite, not really these type of movies, but very good movies each individually, but quite different, has decided to go all Michael Manners and make Heat, but with chicks.
Well, you'll fucking love it because it's from the writer of Gone Girl.
And it is from the writer of Gone Girl. Yeah, it looks very, and that cast is incredible.
It is a good cast.
Yeah, I'm very, very much up for this.
Yeah, it's the only thing you need to see. I think it's these people are in this. This is the premise.
Yeah.
Cool. You don't need any more. Like 2 minutes, and it's like, right, you sold me on the concept. You've sold me on the cast. You've sold me on the talent behind the camera. Let's get this done.
Yeah.
And also, it doesn't look like it's going to be particularly awardsy. Like, even though then again, I mean, like, it already kind of seems like Viola Davis is going to get enough kind of like Oscar clip type stuff to do
definitely.
here. But it's interesting as well. Like, I wonder if Get Out had not happened, whether Daniel Kaluuya would be as prominent as he is in moments in this.
He's in the trailer a lot.
That game, like, because he is, and it's like there's that one shot where it's him and that other guy in that graveyard just staring at something. You're assuming one or all of the widows, and it's just and the guy's got a presence as well. Oh God, can you imagine being him and getting an Oscar nomination for Get Out? Just like, I never expected to get an Oscar nomination. I never expected to get an Oscar nomination for Get Out. Like, it just, I don't know. That man is living his best life. As
Yes,
they say.
absolutely.
Good on him.
He seems like a very nice chap.
Did you guys know it's based on the original source material written by Linda LaPlante?
Yeah, it's the Linda LaPlante script.
I didn't know that. Interesting. Sorry.
Go on then, Ian. You've been build up to this one, haven't you?
So, I've been looking forward to this trailer for a long, long time. And I was out having dinner last night, and like checked my Twitter, and it was just people talking about Suspiria. And it was like, trailers out, can't watch it, I can't watch it, trailers out. Um, 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 and literally, like, Lottie needed a poo, so I picked her up and I ran. Like, we were walking home, and I ran back, and like just while she was in the toilet, I was just frantically getting my phone to like watch the trailer, and it was just it was everything. Suspiria, yeah, everything I wanted it to be. This trailer, and again, it's like I don't need to see anything else. Like I know there's going to be another trailer, and I know I'm going to watch it. But the guy who directed Call Me by Your Name doing this with this look, like it looks like it's coming like from the late '70s. The score sounds like it's coming from the
Well,
late
that was one of the things
70s.
I was most kind of worried about was that Tom York score. I was a little bit like, right, Johnny Greenwood, has established himself as a very good film composer, and not just of weird shit. Because the score that he did for Phantom Thread is a fantastic score, and it's more of a classic movie score. So I was a little bit worried with Tom York. Was it going to be just a little bit too much like Tom York trying to be clever thing? Uh, but then it does sound like it's really fucking good.
Well, maybe he's finally crawled out of his own arse.
I don't think he can anymore.
No,
I
he's
think he
just
got
stuck
lost
there.
in there.
Okay.
I think he's gone far too into further.
We'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah, it looks great. Like you, Ian. I don't need to see any more, but I know I will.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it was a remake that when they announced it, I was like, that doesn't need to happen. Proper, like, miserly remake phobic view of it. And the more kind of buzz that's been coming out over the last few months, and obviously with who's involved and stuff like that, you kind of go, oh, maybe it's not going to be shit.
That was it.
Maybe this could work.
David Gordon Green was attached for a while, wasn't he? Am I imagining that? Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
David Gordon Green was attached at one point, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, totally was. Yeah, he like genuinely, he was like really wanting to do
the
it.
thing is, I couldn't. Although I like David Gordon Green, I couldn't see that. I couldn't see it in my sort of in my mind's eye. I couldn't compute with that. But with Gundy Guy, I could see it. I was like, he's got that bureaucratic, autoristic kind of eye that you can see. I can see where he can make this movie.
Yeah, and I don't know. It already looks like it's going to be like in terms of narrative, it's going to be different as well. It you know it like the Tilda Swinton character. Just because Tilda Swinton's Tilda Swinton, I was kind of half expecting her to be some sort of like mad looking like demon head mistress or something, But again, she looks like she's going to be rather intense, but then like she's kind of smoking and looks a little bit fragile almost herself. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I love that we're getting to the stage where we're starting to see trailers for films that are kind of like year-end films, and I'm thrilled that Suspiria is one of them. Like, there was a piece on Deadline about it getting a release date a couple of weeks back. They were saying on Deadline that they're basically positioning it for an awards play. And it's, Dakota Johnson is despite 50 Shades, she's quite a respected actress. She's worked with Luca Guadagnino before, I believe, she was in A Bigger Splash. And is Chloe Moretz in this as well, or did I dream that?
I saw her, and then it wasn't on the thing at the end.
But she is in it.
Shame.
Yeah. And I mean, like, she's doing some interesting stuff as well. And I mean, she was in Clouds of Sils Maria a couple years back, the Libya Sayers film, which is interesting. So she's an interesting one, because it's like she did the kind of blockbuster thing and it didn't quite work. So now she's just cropping up in some more kind of individual things. But we're getting to the point now. It's like with this and Widows, it's like, let's start cranking out these are for grown-ups. Let's get this going towards the end of the year stuff.
And out for the late September to mid-November films out.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I don't know who's got distribution in the UK, but my God, I hope it comes out like on or very soon after the US release.
Syria. I think
it's coming out
yeah.
the weekend after Halloween.
Yeah, it's coming out at the same time.
So that's like the first week in November.
I think they're doing it as a global release.
All right, brilliant. I mean, and good on Amazon Studios for backing it as well. Like that's incredible. They've got quite a tight knit thing with Studio Canal over here, and they kind of feel like an appropriate distributor for this. So, brilliant. And apparently it's like 2.5 hours long as well. But I'm actually quite up for that. Like just 2.5 hours of something with this kind of mood and atmosphere.
Yeah,
blimey.
That could be. Yeah, I'm very up for it.
I'm a bit torn though on whether I want to watch the original before like in the run up to going to see it.
Yeah,
I don't know if I want to be comparing it to the original or just let it stand on its own 2 feet.
I might watch the original.
Let's watch the original like now.
Yeah, like within the next month or so.
Like
so that it's not tonight now. So it's far enough. It's within my memory, but far enough away from my memory that I'm not going. Well, that's just that from that bit, and that's just that from that bit, because that kind of takes you out of the movie a little bit.
I like the fact that it looks like it's like homaging the giallo style as well, without trying to just straight up copy it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I hope there's lots of very red blood in it, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, like, because Suspiria has got like just the weirdest color scheme of all time, like, quite frankly. And yet, I mean, even like that airport at the start, like the kind of the automatic door looks sinister as shit because of the way it's lit. It's this does, like you say, it feels like it's homaging, but it's not. It's not ripping off.
Yeah.
It's doing like a different aesthetic from that time, almost like this is like an alternate reality version of Suspiria back then, or I just, even Dakota Johnson's hair, it's just like, I don't know, that just feels not now.
Yeah,
and
it's pre-straightener's hair.
yeah, there you go. I like, just, it's incredibly exciting, and just that, I mean, even the title card,
it's good, isn't it?
Like that's a good title card. It's exciting. They did this thing for cinema exhibitors in the US like a month or two back, CinemaCon, and they played a sequence from it there, and like the reports out of that were just like, this is gonna get word of mouth like no one's business, just because some of the stuff happening on screen, and it's I don't know. It feels like it's been a while since we've had that kind of thing for a horror movie, in terms of just like what's going on screen. I mean, of course, we're like Get Out and Split and whatnot. You've had horror films kind of like cross over and break out, but not because of mad shit happening.
Well,
and it feels like.
No, go on.
Sorry, yeah. No. I was just gonna say, it feels like that's what's gonna happen here.
Like they're playing a good long game with this one. They're building a myth around it, which is a good way to go about it. Obviously, with the people turning away and walking out of the footage that was shown, that apparently is quite a lot more heavy than the trailer footage is. The stuff about Dakota Fanning coming out and saying she had to go into therapy after she'd filmed it because it was just so disturbing. What did I say?
Fanning.
Dakota Johnson. And like the stuff about the on-set stuff about the heating breaking very early into filming in the building they were using, and it was freezing and it was like torturous and all this kind of stuff. This whole troubled production myth that they're building, it just adds to the sort of allure of it a little bit.
Yeah.
I think they're doing good with that. It's a good tactic to take.
Yeah, I mean, it harkens back to kind of old movie marketing of like curses on set or whatever, I mean, like Exorcist, exactly. I don't know. It's pretty high up there in my most anticipated for the end of the year.
Yeah, it's got to be on. It looks very good.
And we get a Halloween trailer on Friday as well. So, right, very good, very good. So we're well over an hour into the show, and what is the time? 8:50. Yeah, we are 8:50 our time over here anyway. Right, okay, let's do this then. So let's start with Anon.
Yep.
I don't know why.
So
it's the new film from Andrew. That'll do.
Yep.
As good a reason as any. So it's the new film from Andrew Niccol, a director. He of Gattaca, In Time, that Al Pacino One Simone.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Or like yeah.
Oh, Simone Zero with Al Pacino.
Yeah.
I like that movie.
Yeah. Never saw it. I don't think I did.
Don't need to.
Don't
go back.
So yeah, he's a guy who maybe has an obsession with one thing and kind of runs with it. And I mean, to be fair, his obsession this time seems to be Amanda Seyfried in a black wig.
That was the same obsession he had In Time.
Yeah. In Time, yes, indeed, exactly the same as In Time.
She really can't pull off that black wig.
No.
What are you looking at that for? She looks crap with her hair like that. Okay, cool. Whatever.
That's one way of describing her. Not maybe the one that I would. Anyway, so Clive Owen is a detective in a world where everybody, it seems, have these implants where essentially you look at someone or something and it brings up their personal like information. It's kind of like Google in your eyes.
It's like if Made.com made Google for your eye.
There you go. That's very specific. Basically he's investigating a series of murders, and it looks like Amanda Seyfried is behind them. And it kind of I suppose it goes on from there. Anon. So I think Netflix, most places, Sky Cinema over here. So yeah, it did get a theatrical release. The electronic billboard near my work was advertising this pretty heavily for about a week or so, which was really weird. But yeah, it did get a theatrical release, and I watched it streaming at home last week. And yeah, Becky, what do you think of Anon? How did you go on with it?
It's a funny one, really. It's one of those kind of films where when you're watching it, when I was watching it, it's like, do you know what, this is really clever, I really like this, it's quirky in the way that it's used the tech and kind of normalised the tech in it. You very quickly get used to looking through their eyes and seeing everything come up and be described. And then the more you think about it, the more the heavy-handed message of there is a sort of risk of knowing too much and what's life like without any mystery kind of thing. Kind of becomes a bit troubling in the moment, and whilst watching it I really enjoyed it, and I thought I would. I watched the trailer quite a lot before it came out, and I've been pestering to watch it since it landed on Sky Cinema. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. The black hair on Amanda Seyfried, I'm not gonna lie, did bother me, but I thought the performances were great. The story was possibly a little simple, possibly telegraphed its twist a bit, but yeah, I really enjoyed it, to be honest.
Cool. Mark?
I think I enjoyed it a little bit less than Bex. I thought I don't think it goes for high concept in what he does, and it's often when you're doing high concept, sci-fi is where you go with it. It was interesting the fact that it drops you in this world, and it doesn't really explain it to you. It just allows you to fall into it, and it only gives you a small piece of this world, rather than telling you everything. There's no cookie down and say, well, everybody's been using blah for 16 years, but there's none of that.
That's what I mean about like normalising it. It's not. it doesn't. There's no
Mm.
kind of
Yeah.
heavy.
Heavy-handed.
What's the-
What did we
what's
do
the-
before these things?
Yeah, but when people over-explain stuff in movies,
Exposition.
that's it. There's no clunky exposition in it. It just kind of dumps you in there.
And it did feel a little bit at points like a stretched out Black Mirror episode.
Yeah. I do quite like Black Mirror though. So
And
that's why
I'm
I like
not
it
a
more.
massive fan of Black Mirror, but which ironically because I think that they are squeezed down movies. This felt like a stretched out movie. So I bitch more about Black Mirror because it's like 45 minutes when really they should be an hour and a half. And I'm going to bitch about this because it's an hour and 40 minutes and it should be an hour and a half.
So what you're saying is be careful what you wish for.
No, I'm saying that people need to stop making movies that are too long or TV shows that are too fucking short. And it was, it kind of, it had that kind of aspect for it. There was certain bits of it that were a little bit like, so hang on a minute, you're basing this on the idea that if she does a background check on you, she's not going to go back further than like a month.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean by when you look at it afterwards,
Yeah.
you go, yeah, that won't work.
There's stuff like that.
It's the fact that they actually say in that bit as well, like, well, isn't that a bit dangerous? It was like, oh, I don't think she'll look.
She's not one who likes to look
I get.
Fucking know her.
Yeah. That was exactly it. And it's like, are you fucking what? Yeah.
So there was elements like that. In terms of style and design, again, Drew Nichols has a very good eye for style and design, so it looks nice, but it just it felt a little bit like there was something just not. There was never really any air of threat to it.
No.
And I think part of that is with Clive Owen, he never seems threatened in anything
too calm,
ever.
isn't he? Yeah, but I don't
And I
think
like
it was
Clive
supposed
Owen.
to be like particularly threatening, was it? I didn't get that vibe off it at all. It was more supposed to be the mystery of unraveling these threads.
But I never found it
Yeah.
mysterious.
I don't know, because I mean, to be fair, there were aspects of the film I really enjoyed, but one thing which I thought was threatening was the bit where essentially it kind of looks like where it's almost like he's having a breakdown, but it's not. It's the person like kind of like making him see all this stuff, and it was like the idea of like the fire and the rats all over the place, and like just how nightmarish that actually would be. I thought that was played really well. And for that like 5-10 minute section where it was like you literally cannot believe what you're seeing, I thought that was done really well. And I thought they were I kind of thought like the second half of the film was basically going to be like a horror movie of not. Yeah, and then it kind of like it ditched that. But it was going really, really strong at that point. But I don't know. It's just like there's no chemistry between Clive Owen and Amanda Seyfried whatsoever, and it's just icky. And it frankly, it does just feel like Andrew Nichols, just like Amanda Seyfried's a good-looking woman. I want to see her having sex with Clive Owen. You know, it's. But I don't know. There was some, and the thing is, I was thinking like, is she playing him or something like that? You know, is there a reason why she's doing this? Actually, no. Like in the moment, she actually wanted to do that, and it's like, well, why?
Yeah, other than
He's
Clive
not
Owen,
bad-looking
other than Clive Owen is a
51-year-old
good-looking
guy.
man.
But I mean, so that's
She wanted him
but that
dead,
was literally
because a lot
it.
of the people that she basically says everyone I sleep with dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it helps that she's a particularly young-looking 30-something-year-old, and he's a particularly craggy-looking 50-something-year-old. So the age gap looks worse on screen than it actually in reality is. I mean, a lot of films have 20-year age gaps between leads, don't they?
Well, she's 32.
32 and he's 53.
And he's 53.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
But he's quite craggy.
But like literally, she could easily pass off for like 10 years younger than she actually is. I think. Like
She's
like
not
early
in that
mid-20s.
She's still young enough to be his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that's it. And it's just like, I don't know. Did we really need to take it like quite that far? Like, it just, I don't know. It's in the post Me Too world in which we live, and obviously this would have been filmed before that, I can't help but feel like, is this the male gaze just wanting a bit of Amanda Seyfried here? And it just ick, to be honest. But it turned me. Well, I wasn't turned on, but it kind of turned me off. Like just
I
yeah.
don't know. Like within the
Yeah,
psychology of the film, though, she's a completely disconnected person. She has nobody to lean back on when these horrible things start happening, and she does start essentially getting framed for murders. Maybe she's just in some random way, in some weird way, trying to make him invest in her well-being, like by forming that connection with him, playing devil's advocate for a second.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. No, no. I think like in a film literacy point of view, I think you're absolutely right there. It just like could you not almost, frankly, as Mark said, could you not play it as almost like a paternal thing as opposed to that?
Yeah, but then you wouldn't have got to see it.
You know, like
not as many people would watch it.
Yeah, I suppose so. It just,
Although it would
yeah,
still have that
but that's that.
sort of pre-sex scene where those two ladies get killed.
Yeah, and it does seem to be. She says that her towards at the end of the film. Remember, guys, we are spoilers all the time. At the end of the film, she says that parts of her past are littered around in everybody's. What is it?
Yeah.
And that's why he keeps. And I'm assuming that's why he keeps seeming to have that one little vision of her.
Of her walking.
Of her walking with her boobs out.
Mm,
And it's a bit
I
like.
think that's just him remembering because he enjoyed it.
No, but it happens. She sees it before he sees her naked, though.
No, he doesn't.
He does.
No, he sees it when they're looking when they've hacked her through her proxies and they're looking through her eyes. That's when she walks in front of the mirror.
Yeah, it is. Yes, fair point.
I mean, they're all
Yeah,
staring
fair
at
point,
it. Like it's like the
I
shot of
forgot
them
I've
all
seen
in
that
that
bit,
room, just like watching.
Yeah, that's a bit gross. That bit because
bit creepy, isn't it?
Yeah, that is a bit creepy.
And it calls out its own creepiness, but it's just like, I mean, not in a kind of a Haneke way. I don't know whether Andrew Nicole was quite self-aware to kind of like actually realise that. But I don't know. It's just, the world building is interesting, and there are sequences in there which are, engaging. But I don't know. By the end of it, I was like, well, that was that then. It was like, well, who was the killer then? Oh, it was this guy.
Yeah, they didn't really develop his character at all. Did they?
No, he literally is stock bad guy, stock TV bad guy number 4.
Yeah, I came out of that going, right, I'm assuming it's because he got a little bit obsessed with her in this ether thing where they all go, but it didn't really explicitly it didn't build that at all.
No, it didn't.
Oh, he was a bit obsessed. Alright then, okay. We'll just take it as that.
He fell in love with her work.
Well, there's that bit where the commissioner guy, like they're talking, and it's like, well, you recommended him.
I liked that.
He was like, well, I don't know who she was. I don't know who he was. Just that whole kind of like, he was obviously obsessed with her beforehand, and then he's like forged his way into this job role. And like, because I thought that was interesting as well, just the idea of like, you got all this new tech, but then it's still someone having to inveigle themselves into this role in order to find out this information. There was like something that couldn't be done through new tech, so they still had to, even though then again, maybe it's just like, well, we had to have him in some of the shots.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh, right, that guy. I don't, but I mean, even some of it was almost like kind of harking back to kind of like old school, like De Palma or something like that, with the kind of the first person gun scenes, even though it did bother me that it didn't look like he was walking. It was just like a floating camera.
And of course, you've got the changing of aspects for first person and standard viewing.
Yeah.
Oh, the aspect ratio changes. Yeah.
That's a De Palma. That's a kind of trick that you imagine De Palma would get off on. You'd be like, holy mackerel, that looks cool.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah.
Are we Batman?
In the De Palma.
No, he says holy mackerel a lot, doesn't he?
Documentary, which is basically one long interview with him about his films, about his career. He says the phrase holy mackerel an awful lot.
Excellent.
It's a really good doc, actually.
That's well worth a watch. That is well worth a watch. Um, no, fair enough. I think we're pretty much spent on
Yes.
Anon then, aren't we?
I think our poll was. Where is it?
While Mark,
Definitely
oh
not
no,
shit.
yeah, go on.
14%. Touching cloth 43%. Shit 43%, and Geostorm 0%. Where are you on it, Ian?
Yeah, okay. Um,
Because
touching
I'm
cloth.
definitely not shit because I enjoyed it enough for it to be definitely not shit.
Yeah, and I probably will happily watch it again at some point.
Um,
It if that's your scale, it definitely is not shit, and it's not nearly shit. So
I, yeah, that's I. Yeah, I mean, I'm nearly on definitely not shit, but it's just there was enough in there that bothered me enough that it's just like, you know what? It's not shit. It's not shit. It is just touching cloth.
Yeah.
Mark,
I'm,
what do you think?
I'm definitely not shit.
Cool, very good. Just to say, I think we're gonna have to skip what we watched and whatnot, if that's
Yeah,
okay with
which
you
could
guys
actually.
this week.
Yeah.
Is that all right? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Great. Okay. So, Cargo. I actually don't have who it's directed
It
by
is
in front of me.
directed by Ben Howling and Yolanda Ramke. Who Yolanda
Very
Ramke
good.
also wrote
And
it
it
as well.
stars. Ah, oh, cool. Okay. Stars Martin Freeman, a baby, a girl, an angry man, and a woman who looks sad. Cargo is the story of. I should have had IMDb up. All spoilers all the time, but the premise is set up. I mean, the premise is in the trailer. So essentially, Martin Freeman. It's kind of a post-zombie world where things are turning to poop. Film set in Australia. Martin Freeman is on a kind of a houseboat with his young child and wife. His wife is
really fucking annoying.
infected with the and that. I believe her name is Blue, which is something. Usually the name of
I
like a
think
dog
that's
or
a
something.
nickname,
But
which is
oh no,
okay.
oh yeah, okay,
Yeah.
all right, fine. I just kept on thinking of
Yeah.
you're my boy Blue from old school,
I see
but
now I
you know,
watch old school now. It's not any streaming service.
yeah, I'd quite
Is
like
that the
to
one
watch
with the
old school.
streaking?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so, um, yeah, she gets infected with this virus. He then gets infected with it off of her, and then he essentially has a countdown to get his very young daughter somewhere safe before he turns. So it's in the crowded world of zombie films, that's a really unique premise. Um, and the combination of that and kind of the outback setting, but with Martin
Yeah.
Freeman in it, it is quite an interesting proposition. Mark, how do you think they pulled it off?
Overall, yes, I do think they pulled it off. I
Mm.
think it's a film that is carried quite well. I think by Martin Freeman delivering a really solid performance. His everymanness that he has in terms of for comedy, where he seems that Simon Pegg everymanness that he's got. Um, Carries over quite well into more dramatic roles. I think he comes across as sympathetic, but also as well never sort of simpering or anything like that. Like somebody who is reasonably coping with what's put before him.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that about him. Everything, there's a rationale behind everything he's doing, even if he makes what could be deemed as a maybe non-rational decision, that you can still get the rationale behind him making that decision. And so I think it's carried by quite a good performance there. The story, like you say, it's an interesting concept. I think some of the scripts and the story beats are a little bit clunky, but beyond that, I think it's a solid enough. Actually, it's a really quite an intense movie to watch. In terms of what you're going. And I think the fact that you're putting into that situation. An infant that can't speak, can't talk, can't move, or anything like that. You're putting that into the situation, elevates that, and it takes it to a different kind of place. Certainly. So yeah, I had a. It's not without its. I wouldn't go as far as to say issues, but it's not without its iffy moments. But overall, I think it's a solid watch. What were your feelings on it?
Cool. Yeah, Becky, go on.
I don't know. It's one that because we watched it a few days ago. There's a bit of distance from it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it whilst watching. After watching, I still really enjoyed it, but could kind of see there was holes in it that bothered me. And I think I'm still there, but with a bit more of a. In hindsight, I didn't really care about the well-being of any of those characters apart from Martin Freeman's. He was the only character, and Toomey.
Yeah.
But the baby, it didn't seem to have much of a relationship with the kid to start off with. Like, they didn't build that he really cared about her. It was always like, oh, she won't want me anyway, kind of thing. I know, I get that, but I don't know. It just. I don't know. The wife was annoying. All the adults in it were annoying. The baby was a baby, and yeah, the two central characters. I actually cared about their well-being, and one of them got stabbed through the heart. So there we are. The holes in it that kind of took me out of it. I think when you're trying to build a kind of realistic zombie movie like this rather than a completely far out horror movie kind of world for zombies, you have to have consistency, and this is what I was saying to you the other night, wasn't I? Yeah. The characters have to be consistent in the kind of decisions they would make. And her basically telling him off for going across to the boat on his own, and then doing the same herself to go and get a fucking razor.
Then immediately
it's
doing
not like
it.
She was going to get anything important. A fucking razor because she didn't like his beard. Ridiculous. And then.
What kind of piece of shit don't like a beard?
And then you've got, obviously, she's badgering him to go.
Get food.
Yeah, inland to get food. And then all of a sudden she's bitten and dying and doesn't want to go because it's not safe enough. And it just that the way that it starts there, just it kind of made you think. I don't know. There's just that lack of consistency then kind of carried through to me. Like, he wanted to go inland and get stuff, and then when he didn't because she was bitten and it was too dangerous because she wouldn't be able to run and she wouldn't be able to protect herself. So all of a sudden. No, sorry, hang on, I'm getting confused. She wanted to go in, he didn't, then he did and she didn't, for the medicine kind of thing.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Kind of expanding on that, you can kind of go, well, maybe at that point she was feeling like it was safer for them if they stayed there and she wouldn't be able to help out and blah blah. But it just felt inconsistent, and that initial beat of inconsistency kind of carried through as a sentiment for me. So it did kind of, it took me out of it a little bit, and it made it less fleshed out, less of a real believable kind of scenario.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair, and especially considering they are trying to, I think anyway, they're trying to paint him as a bit of a, like, he thinks he's the leader of the house, and they're having a bit of a rocky relationship because of it, kind of thing. And then you look at it and it's like, well, actually, he's kind of got a bit of a point. She needs to be more consistent. Yeah. I mean, I found it a very, very intense watch, but this is part of a series of films that I just find more intense these days than I used to. Just being the father of a 4-year-old girl. And it's, I think on that kind of like that primal level that works for me. But I think that's fascinating, Becky. You're saying there about the like Martin Freeman and the kid not having that much of a bond, because I hadn't really thought of that. But you're right. They don't. It does. He kind of plays with her a little bit and whatnot, but you don't really get that sense. I suppose it would be hard, even though I thought there was a lovely little moment towards the end where he gave her a kiss, and I don't know whether they put something on his forehead or something, but she kind of like almost like licked his forehead. And like I was thinking that's either a really nice natural moment or this weirdly choreographed thing that feels like a bit of a cheat, and I can't decide which one it was. But I'd like that actually kind of got me there.
They don't do much to get you to buy into him as this doting father. Like up until his wife dies, he has very, very little to do with his daughter. She does it all, and I think that's supposed to kind of help you buy into this feeling of, oh shit, it's all on me now, and I don't really know what to do with her. But then even afterwards, really, the most he has to do with her for most of it is walk around with her on his back. You know, he's not carrying her.
Yeah.
You know, they could have gone for a toddler, so they could have been like walking hand in hand. That would help kind of build that kind of feeling that there was like that father-daughter relationship there. But there just isn't. It just doesn't do enough with that for me to make me care. I know that makes me sound like a horrible person not caring for the well-being of a baby, but like you kind of always knew that the baby wasn't going to die, apart from that one brief second in the tunnel where you're like, oh, are they going to go there? Are they going to go there? And then they don't.
I mean that, yeah. Oh god, yeah, because the way that guy kind of performs it as well, like where it looks like he's about to like twist her neck or something. Yeah, like that was like fair play. Like that was, I'm kind of surprised they were allowed to do that, but obviously it must have been just like super safe, and it like just like simulated really well. But absolutely. I don't know. Martin Freeman as a dramatic actor doesn't quite connect for me, just because he has got to try and do some heavy lifting here, and it's just there's little Freeman ticks that he does. Like there's a thing that he does where it's like he's about to say something, then audibly decides against it. Where it's like he goes,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, and it just he does that a couple of times in this, and it's like he'd do that in The Office, and it's supposed to be for comedic effect. There, you can't do the same thing, but then have it for dramatic effect just because you're in a drama, not a comedy. Acting doesn't work like that. It's just there's a thing that he does as well when like he's really being serious. It's like he tries to get everything out in one go, and then kind of just leaves an abrupt silence, and he kind of does that as well, and it just doesn't quite work. And weirdly, I know I pooped on the film a little while back, but he's actually not bad in Ghost Stories, and he's doing some different stuff there, and it's kind of layered for a reason in Ghost Stories. But he was not a bad thing about Ghost Stories. Most of what around him was, but he wasn't. But with this, it doesn't quite work. And you're right, the relationship with that Toomey character, whatever. And you know that guy, is he going to be a bad guy? Of course he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it just right from the start, even though he's in a perilous situation, it's like he's going to be a wrong because it's just that it's almost like his body type.
He looks like a wrong. You look at him, you go, oh.
Yeah, a film wrong.
It's an older white Australian. Oh, he's a wrong, and he is.
He's not old though, is he?
Older.
Yeah.
Older. Okay.
Yeah.
Older.
White Australian. He's going to be racist. He's basically going to be.
I did not like the racist comment he made. That really bothered me.
He's basically going to be everything that's wrong with America, but with an Australian accent. Loves his guns, racist, and a little bit of a dick.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought it was pretty cinematic.
I thought the performance from the little girl was really good.
Yeah, that baby.
No, Tommy.
I was joking.
That we thought was a boy for quite a while.
I think she was a boy for quite a while.
I actually, I thought she was a boy for a while. Yeah, I mean, it was one of those ones where, actually, like you with Anon, Becky, I enjoyed it in the moment. thinking about it, kind of weirdly run of the mill, considering what it's actually
What it's dealing with,
actually about, and what the premise is. And yeah, I don't know. Just the fact that the whole virus takes 48 hours thing, and it's almost like it's literally down to the second, was a bit, I mean, like the ticking time bomb thing is interesting, but I don't know. It would have been a bit more dramatic if he'd started like having the spasming or whatever, like 4 or 5 hours before,
the idea
or something.
Themselves is quite interesting.
It's creepy as fuck, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like that. That creepy little touch was good.
Is that what he was doing?
They all bury their heads.
They bury their heads
hibernate.
in what is it? Down to hibernate when they first turn, and then when they sense something, they.
Well, no, I think it's like how they sleep. They need the dark, because like when they go through the tunnel, those are like established zombies, and they're like burying their head against the wall, aren't they? So it's like a downtime. They have to like either bury themselves if they're somewhere light, or go into like a tunnel or something and
it's the outback, so it's really fucking light,
really fucking bright.
Yeah, no shade there.
But there's loads of places to sleep because sand.
It's sand.
Yeah.
There you go.
So it's creepy.
But I thought it was quite clever what they did at the end, though, where it was like they just attached a bit of like meat to the end of a pole and then just had him follow it. Like that was that was pretty solid. That was pretty solid. Okay, so that's Cargo then. Sensing. Yeah. Okay. All right, Becky.
I don't know. I don't think it's quite shit.
You take the C on it.
I am. I think. Yeah. I think it's touching cloth.
Fair enough. It's what it's there for. It's what it's there for. I think I'm definitely not shit. Yeah, it had me enough to work. I'll never watch it again. Like it just can't.
I think that
can't do it.
My ratings is like, would I ever watch it again? No, I wouldn't. So I think it has to be.
But it's more like I'd never watch it again. Like I wouldn't watch like The Hunt again. Like I don't like no. Or like Videodrome. I don't think I'll ever watch that again. Like just because it like. Yeah, I mean, fair play. I did have to watch just some random crap on YouTube for 20 minutes before I went to sleep last night after finishing this, because I did, and I don't usually have to do that. So points, but yeah, how'd the poll come out?
Came out with definitely not shit 50%, touching cloth 38%, and shit 13%.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. It doesn't feel like one that's going to be universally something, does it? It kind of feels like different people take different things. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, do we have any Twitter questions?
2 seconds.
Oh, okay, cool.
Just while he's finding those, Ian, did you ever get around to watching The Last Key?
No, because by the time I thought I looked at it the same day, but it was coming up as like $3.49 or $4.49 to rent instead of $1.99.
They dropped that $1.99 rentals for this week, I think.
Oh.
It could come back, I think, in a couple of weeks, apparently. But we'll talk about it next week.
I will try and catch that. I like the Insidious films. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, we'll be figuring out next week when we do what we've been watching.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
I'll try and get to it for next week.
Chris Burns at Burnser. Just listened to the solo episode, and I share Mark's fear of crying if I ever met Stallone. Are there any actors that Becky or Ian have concerns about meeting and not being able to keep their composure?
Oh, does it have to be an actor?
I don't think people within the film world.
Okay, this guy writes things that made me.
Yeah, you can have Stephen King.
Thank you, Stephen King. I'd
there you go.
gibber him for a bit, and then just wrap him in bubble wrap and put him in an oxygen chamber so he just never dies. His advancing age is real. I mean, concern. I don't like it.
It would have been Bowie for me. He's been in films, so yeah. I mean, it would have been Bowie. These days, I'm not entirely sure, to be fair. Like I don't. Who would be Seismic? That's the thing.
I feel like meeting Hayao Miyazaki would be a bit emotional. I'd probably just have to give him a really big hug.
Oh.
Just to say thank you for Totoro.
I
That's
think
a
if I
good.
met Martin Scorsese, every single question that I want to ask would come out at once. So I would literally just walk up to him and just go, "Ah!" And then he'd go, okay.
I just want to have a really good dinner with Martin Scorsese.
He would be a great
like that.
dinner
That's
guest, wouldn't he?
You'd have to try really hard not to like touch his eyebrows though.
I'd be fine with that. I wouldn't want to touch his eyebrows.
like pipe cleaners, man. They're beautiful. No, I mean, like, okay, deceased, but like David Bowie is like immediately the person I think like that just would have been
there would be a
something
holy
else.
shit, you're David Bowie kind of moment.
Yeah.
I think part of that would be the realization of going, holy shit, you're actually real.
Yeah.
My mum had a very passing. He had a dalliance with an ex roommate of hers, like back in the day. Yeah, so I don't know. It's I don't know. It'd be funny to say, do you remember like whatever her name was? He probably would as well, because I reckon he remembers every single name.
He seems like too much of a nice gentleman to have not.
A nice gentleman who'd like to, get down.
But yeah, that's
Next
all
question.
we've got.
Oh, fair enough. Cool. So yeah, like I say, I'm going to cut it short there just because like Lottie's been a little bit touchy today, and I maybe should actually show my face. So next week we're going to be doing Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, I assume. Yeah. Looking forward to that. That is my boy Biona.
I'm actually really looking forward to that.
Have you guys seen a Monster Calls yet, by any chance? I think it's on Prime. Yeah. I'd be intrigued as to your thoughts. And like A Monster Calls is Biona's last film. I'm not going to say anything. But it was in my top 10 that year. And hell of a film, I thought. But we'll see what you guys think. So yeah, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. dudeandthemonkey@gmail.com, at Ian Loring, at dudefoz, at BexyFoz, BEXYFOZ. Boom. And there we go. That is Dude and the Monkey episode thingy. 258, and we're out.
Continue enjoying your holiday, Ian.
Gracias. Enjoy working. Sorry.
Cheers for that, man.
Nice one. Cheers, guys. Good show. That was cracking.
Later on, man.
Lovely job. Night, guys. Bye. Oh, no boozy. Nice one. Cheers, guys.